Who would have thought one day that farmers in Brazil could control the immigration of their crops against the other side of the Atlantic Ocean? In Angola, with the help of an undersea cable, that is exactly what is happening. Yet, 7% of the people in the country have access to the internet. So, what does the future hold? António Nunes, Chief Executive Officer at Angola Cables, answers these questions and more.
We are developing a network not only in Africa, but in the Atlantic itself. So we have cables crossing from Cape Town up to London. We are part of the WAX cable, of the consortium of the WAX cable. So we touch 11 countries in Africa and 3 countries in Europe. But then we build 2 new cables, one crossing to Brazil, Angola to Brazil, and another still crossing Brazil to US. So in the reality today, we have a network in the Atlantic with this infrastructure that will support the internet. Today we are already operational in Brazil, so we are delivering already internet to Brazil, and we are using also the Brazilian internet to supply them to Africa. So now we have a south hemispheric crossing in terms of capabilities. So we are planning to reroute as much as we can the internet to the south so that we can benefit from that. So the very big game challenge was the latency of the communication. Before, communication between Angola and Brazil was around 380 milliseconds. Today is 63. So it's a very big game change.
So in terms of the fourth industrial revolution that everyone's talking about, how does it change the game there? What's your building at the moment?
It changed a lot. So if you consider that, for example, before it was not possible to have different operations or different softwares working because of the latency itself, today is very useful. So one of the first guys to react into the market was the gaming communities, because before they could not play with South American players because of that distance. So the latency was very low. They could not play with them together. Now, with the decrease of the latency, they are able to play with a very efficient way. So today we have, for example, farmers that could have irrigation plants that are being operated from South America. And it will be possible to happen immediately.
Really?
Because of these latency issues. So the fin softwares, for example, everything that is with the finance is also working quite well because of that efficiency again.
And yet, you still only have about 7% penetration, lower than a number of other countries in sub-Saharan Africa for the internet. What are you going to do about that?
Look, we are building these infrastructures not only for Angola, but for the African market. So our company is already based in South Africa, for example, so we are a South African-based company. And the idea and the concept is that we bridge continents. So our marketplace is not only Africa, it's Africa and South America. And the full concept is trying to build the digital bridge that will enable business to happen together in these 2 emerging continents.
And also, you're saying that you're going to also putting money into reskilling for this fourth industrial revolution as well. What are you going to be doing in Angola?
Again, so Angola for us is very important, but it's not only our single market. So in terms of the fourth industry, what going to happen is you will need a lot of demand of data. Data will be the new oil, as we have been mentioned here many times. And you need big pipes to transport this data across. So these networks of submarine cables will allow that interconnection to happen in a very efficient way. So the full concept is that supporting the fourth revolution, the fourth industry, in order to enable them to happen, in fact, because you need the infrastructures. And this is the basic stuff, is the infrastructures to be ready.